Lesson 11. Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called Poison in the Pot. Today's memory verse is from 2 Samuel chapter 9, verse 7. It says, "For I will surely show you kindness." The message for today's story is God helps us see and supply others' needs. Do you ever complain about what's for supper? I hope not. But I think if you were a student at the school Elisha visited, you actually might have a good reason to complain about the stew. The students at Gilgal School of Prophets were excited. Elisha was coming to visit. Good things always happened when the prophet came. Elisha always had time to listen to them. He gave them good counsel and encouraged them in their studies. Yes, the prophet was coming and the students were excited, but they actually thought about something more than their studies. Would Elisha hear their stomachs growling? What? Stomachs growling? Yes, another drought in the land meant no rain, which meant little food growing, and that meant stomachs were growling with hunger. Everyone greeted Elisha excitedly. It was easy to see that the students looked forward to his visit. Elisha smiled as he listened to their chatter. But he also noticed that the students looked a bit thin and a little pale. They haven't had much food to eat, Elisha thought. He knew they needed food so they could think clearly. Elisha called to his servant, "Bring a big pot and make some stew for the students." The servant went into the field near their school. He found some things growing on a vine. He wasn't quite sure, but he thought they would do. Elisha's servant boiled some water in the big pot, and he cut up the things he had found and added them to the water, threw in a little herbs, and let them cook and simmer. The smell drifted to the students. Now their stomachs were really growling. They didn't know what the servant had put into the stew, but it smelled wonderful. They hurried to wash their hands and to get their bowls, and soon they gathered around the big pot. They held their bowls eagerly waiting to be served. They gulped down the first bites, but something was wrong. "Stop!" they shouted. "There's poison in the pot." The servant was shocked. "Poison?" The plants must have been bad. "Oh no, what have I done?" he worried. But God was watching, and he told Elisha what to do. "Bring me some flour," Elisha insisted. His servant hurried away and soon returned with a sack of flour. Quickly, Elisha added the flour to the pot and stirred it. He tasted the stew and then told his servant to offer it to the students again. The servant must have hesitated. The students probably hesitated too. Does flour normally take away poison? No, but they trusted God, and they trusted God's servant Elisha. The stew tasted delicious. They eagerly emptied their bowls. Elisha realized the students' need of food, and he did what he could. With God's help, he cared for the students. And God will take care of you too. Just ask him every day.
This podcast was brought to you by Studio El Piso and Gracelink.net. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net.